You've done the labs, you've tracked your cycle, you've cut out alcohol, cleaned up your diet, and started taking a list of supplements that fill an entire shelf in your kitchen. And yet, you're still not pregnant. If this sounds like you, I want you to know something first. You're not crazy and you're not broken. There is a reason. There is always a reason. The problem is most conventional fertility workups aren't designed to find it. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 most common hidden reasons I see in women who come to me after months or years of trying. Women whose standard labs looked completely normal and who were told that their only option was IVF. By the end of this video, you will have a completely different lens on your own body, and you'll understand exactly what we look for in the Hope Fertility Program to finally get you the answers and the results that you deserve. So let's get into it. But first, before we do that, if you've been wondering what is going on, why can't I get pregnant? What can I do differently to finally get pregnant or hold a pregnancy? I put together a free training called Why You're Still Not Pregnant. It's based on 24 years of working with women just like you, and it gives you a clear, actionable starting point, no matter where you are in your journey right now. You can grab that in the description below. Here's what I need you to understand before we get into the 5 reasons. When a woman comes to me after being told her fertility is unexplained, that word, unexplained, is not a diagnosis. It's an admission. It means we ran the standard tests and nothing obvious came up. But here's the thing. Standard tests are designed to catch extreme abnormalities. They are not designed to catch the subtle functional imbalances that sit just below the threshold. The ones that don't flag on a basic FSH panel or standard thyroid test, but that absolutely, without question, impact your ability to get pregnant. I've seen women with perfect AMH, regular ovulation, and textbook cycles who could not get pregnant because there were hidden factors that nobody had looked for. And once we found them, and once we addressed them, they got pregnant. That is what this video is about. Not fear, not panic, hope. Actionable, specific, root cause hope. Hidden reason number 1. Your gut is silently sabotaging your fertility. It starts with gut health first in this video and in my Hope program, because this is the foundation that everything else sits on. If your digestive system is not functioning optimally, nothing else will work the way that it should. Here's why this matters so much for fertility specifically. Your gut does something called estrogen metabolism. It helps regulate how estrogen circulates in your body. When you have gut dysbiosis, an imbalance in your gut bacteria, and your gut is not functioning properly, or what's called intestinal permeability, your body starts to recirculate estrogen instead of clearing it. Over time, this can create a state called estrogen dominance. And estrogen dominance suppresses or can suppress progesterone, disrupts ovulation, and damages egg quality. Low-grade chronic inflammation from a compromised gut also directly impacts mitochondrial function inside the egg. And mitochondrial function is everything when it comes to egg quality. So what you can do is start by removing the 2 most common irritants, refined sugar and processed foods, and add in fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, or a quality probiotic specifically designed for women's health. You want to be actively feeding your gut bacteria, not starving it. In the Hope Fertility Program, the very first thing we do before we adjust supplements, before we look at anything else, is we assess gut function. Because I have seen time and time again that when we repair the gut, everything else starts to fall into place. I had a member who came to me after 2 years of trying. Her labs were completely unremarkable. She had mild bloating that she had chalked up to stress, barely even mentioned it. When we did a comprehensive stool analysis, she had significant gut dysbiosis and elevated inflammatory markers. Within 4 months of addressing just that one piece, her cycles regulated, her egg quality markers improved, and she got pregnant naturally. That's what's possible. Hidden reason number 2. Your thyroid is whispering and no one is listening to it. This is one of the most common things that I see and one of the most frustrating because it is so easily missed. Standard thyroid testing typically includes TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. If your TSH is within the reference range, most doctors will tell you your thyroid is just fine. Nothing to see here. But here's the problem. The standard TSH reference range is wide, very wide. And for fertility specifically, research shows that even TSH values within the normal range, but on the higher end, can significantly impair implantation and increase miscarriage risk. There's more to it than TSH. When we look at a full thyroid panel, that means free T3, free T4, reverse T3, and thyroid antibodies, we often find what I call subclinical thyroid dysfunction. Patterns that don't show up on a basic test, but that are actively interfering with ovulation, egg quality, and early pregnancy support. So what can you do about that right now? Ask your doctor or fertility specialist for a complete thyroid panel, not just TSH. If they're resistant to ordering it, push for it. This information is too important to skip. And what you eat here matters too. Selenium-rich foods like Brazil nuts support thyroid conversion. Avoiding excessive raw cruciferous vegetables and soy can help you and your thyroid. These are small shifts, but they do add up over time. One of our members was told her thyroid was perfectly fine 3 times before joining the program. When we ran a full panel, her reverse T3 was elevated, meaning her body was producing thyroid hormone, but not converting it properly. Once we addressed that, her ovulation normalized within 2 cycles. I want to pause here for a second because if you're listening to this and thinking, this is exactly what's been missing in my care, I want to invite you to take a real next step on your fertility journey. If you're serious about getting pregnant and would like to have me as your coach, go to the link below to apply for a call with my team so we can review your full case and see if the HOPE program is right for you. The link to apply is in the description below. I only work with women who are serious about getting to the root cause. And if that's you, I'd love to connect. Let's continue with hidden reason number 3. Silent inflammation is blocking implantation. When most people hear inflammation, they think of something obvious: joint pain, redness, swelling. But the kind of inflammation I'm talking about is different. It's silent, it's chronic, and it runs quietly in the background, month after month, making your uterine environment inhospitable for implantation. Silent inflammation can be driven by a number of things: undiagnosed food sensitivities, particularly to gluten or dairy, undetected infections, environmental toxin exposure, or conditions like silent endometriosis, which I want to emphasize does not always present with severe pain. I have seen women with significant endometriosis who had mild or even no symptoms and whose condition was only discovered through deeper testing. This matters because inflammation directly affects the quality of the uterine lining. A healthy implantation requires a receptive, well-nourished endometrium. Chronic inflammation compromises that. So what you can do about that now is start an anti-inflammatory diet. That's your first line of defense. That means prioritizing omega-3 fatty acids like wild-caught salmon, sardines, quality fish oil. It means increasing your intake of colorful vegetables, turmeric, and ginger. And it means looking seriously at whether gluten or dairy is triggering an inflammatory response in your body. In our program, we use advanced inflammatory markers in our root cause assessment, not just standard CRP, but markers that give us a much more precise picture of what's happening systematically. Because you cannot fix what you can't see. I had a member with perfect regular cycles, 28 days, clockwork. She'd been trying for 3 years. When we ran an advanced inflammatory panel, she had significantly elevated markers and silent endo was confirmed on biopsy. We addressed the inflammation nutritionally and systematically, worked alongside an excision specialist for her surgery, and 2 months post-recovery, she was pregnant naturally. These are the things that are possible when you know what you're looking for and you know what to do once you find it. Rejuva was designed to support egg and sperm health from the inside out. More vitality, more cellular strength, more fertility potential. It helps unlock better fertility by improving cellular energy, hormone balance, and overall reproductive wellness. Get yours using the link below. Hidden reason number 4. your stress response is stealing your fertility. I want to be very careful how I say this, because just reduce your stress is some of the most unhelpful advice anyone can give to a woman struggling to get pregnant. I'm not saying that. I'm saying something much more specific. Your body has a hormonal stress response system called the HPA axis. When this system is chronically activated, not because of big dramatic life events, but because of the daily grind of trying, the 2-week wait, the disappointment, the doctor appointments, it produces elevated cortisol. And elevated cortisol suppresses the reproductive hormones your body needs to ovulate well, maintain a healthy luteal phase, and support early pregnancy. Here's what makes this particularly tricky. The activities many women are doing to manage stress can sometimes add to it. Wake up early to exercise before work, doing intense HIIT workouts, cutting sleep to get everything done. These things feel productive, but at the hormonal level, they are adding stress to a body that is already overloaded. What you can do. The most important thing is to start tracking. Not just your cycle, but your energy, your mood, your sleep quality, and your stress patterns throughout the month. The Dutch test, which is a dried urine hormone panel, is the single most valuable tool I use to map a woman's cortisol rhythm throughout the day. It tells me exactly where her cortisol is spiking or crashing and gives us the information we need to build a targeted support plan. Whether that's adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha or rhodiola, targeted breathwork practices, prioritizing sleep over early morning workouts, or acupuncture, it's specific to what your cortisol pattern is actually showing. I worked with a member for several months. Everything looked right. Hormones, gut, inflammation. We had addressed it all. She still wasn't getting pregnant. When we looked more closely, she was waking up at 5 a.m. to exercise before a full workday, sleeping just under 6 hours. I asked her to do one thing: protect her sleep. Get a minimum of 7 hours, even if it meant no morning workout. The next month, literally, she was pregnant. Okay, reason number 5, your cycle is telling you what labs cannot. The 5th hidden reason is one that I find so many women overlook, not because they're not paying attention, but because they've been told their cycles are normal and they believed it. Here's what I want you to start looking at this moment. And I want you to look for it more carefully. Your cycle is a monthly fertility report card. And I'm not just talking about whether it's 28 days or 32 days. I'm talking about the color of your flow, the presence of spotting before your period starts, the length of your luteal phase, the time between ovulation and when your period arrives, your cervical mucus patterns, your basal body temperature. Premenstrual spotting, that brown spotting that shows up 2 or 3 days before your actual bleed, is one of the most common signs of a luteal phase that is not adequately supported by progesterone. A short luteal phase means that even if fertilization occurs, the embryo doesn't have enough time or the right hormonal environment to implant before your period starts. Low progesterone doesn't always show up as a problem on a single day 21 lab draw. The timing and the pattern matter, and that's why tracking your full cycle, temperatures, symptoms, cervical fluid, gives us information that a single blood draw simply cannot tell us. So what you can do right now, if you're not using a basal body temperature thermometer, is start using one today or tomorrow. Track your temperature every morning before you get out of bed. Note your symptoms day by day. Note your flow, your spotting, your energy, your mood. This data is gold. And when you come to work with me, it's exactly what helps us build a plan that's truly personalized to you and your needs. I had a member whose labs were textbook, but when we looked at her BBT charts, her luteal phase temperatures were consistently low, and she was spotting 5 days before every period. Those two things together told us immediately that progesterone support was the missing piece. Within 2 cycles of addressing it, she conceived. Again, this is what's possible when you get into the details of a woman's menstrual cycle. So now you understand why you might be sitting there with a normal fertility workup and still not pregnant. The answer isn't that nothing is wrong. The answer is that no one has looked deeply enough. The Hope Fertility Program exists because of exactly this problem. It's a system I developed over 24 years of clinical work, not a one-size-fits-all protocol, but a clear, structured, three-phase process designed to find the root cause that conventional medicine has missed, create a personalized plan built around your specific biology, and then support you every step of the way as your body heals and prepares for pregnancy. And most importantly, it works. Not because I'm doing anything magical. It works because when you find the actual root cause and address it properly, your body knows what to do. If you've been nodding along to this video because this is your story, you've done everything, your labs are normal, and you're still waiting, I want you to stop waiting and start getting real answers. Use the link below to apply to qualify for a call with us. This is a real in-depth conversation where we look at everything and we talk through exactly what working with us inside the Hope Fertility Program would look like for you. This is not for everyone. This is for women who are done guessing and ready to commit to a real root cause approach. If that's you, the link to apply is in the description below. Fill out the short application and my team will be in touch with you. There is always a reason you haven't gotten pregnant yet. And there's always hope when you have the right support and the right plan. Let's find yours. Before you go, I want to point you to one more video that I think is going to really land for you. It's called Regular Periods but Can't Get Pregnant. 5 Hidden Reasons Why. If you ovulate, if your cycles are regular and you're still not pregnant, that video is going to give you a clear picture of why. I'll leave that link right here. Thank you for watching. Take care of your body. Trust the process as always. And until the next video, stay fertile and stay hopeful.